This episode is brought to you by HP Plus. In a world full of smart devices, isn't it about time your printer got smart too? Now printing is smart with HP Plus, and the HP Smart app is how it all happens. You can print from your phone with just a tap, no matter where you are, even from your garage/home office/yoga studio. Huh, that is smart. HP Plus. Learn more about smart printing at hp.com/smart.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, via Zoom is
Matthew. Maybe I had a jet ski. It's a Polish name. Maybe I had a jet ski. It's,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I had a jet ski.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say it real fast. Maybe I had a jet ski. Yeah.
I think I went to high school with a few. Maybe I had a jet skis, and yeah.
It's a common Polish name in Toledo. So
yeah, makes sense. Maybe I had a jet ski.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, maybe I had a jet ski.
A lot of us look like Owen Wilson for some reason. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Whoa! Wow. Sorry, no, he's wow. Joey Lawrence, whoa.
That's right, Joey Lawrence. Whoa. Owen is more of a wow. Yeah. Oh.
Wow. I think it'd be cool if there was a movie that was just Joey Lawrence and Owen Wilson on a road trip. Like just visiting like really cool like roadside, things like big giant dinosaurs and stuff. And and then they'd just be like, whoa. Wow. It'd be the whole movie, just them standing in front of the Grand Canyon going, whoa. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
What would you call it?
Whoa and wow.
Whoa and wow. Yeah.
Whoa and wow with no. It'd be wow and whoa.
No, Whoa and Wilson.
Yeah. No. It'd be wow and whoa with Owen and Joe.
Yeah.
Yep. It could be a series like on like the Travel Channel or whatever.
Oh, I kind of like Whoa and Wilson personally. The play on word, wow, Owen Wilson. But then they have an argument about who, gets the greater pun, right? Because, Joey Lawrence would want, to be, the main guy. And, let's face it, Owen Wilson would win that.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Joey would have a problem with that, really. Yes.
I mean, Joey Lawrence, the last thing of report, there you go. He was in that show with Melissa Joan Hart that took place in Toledo and looked absolutely nothing like Toledo at all.
Yes.
Where she played the mayor of Toledo and
she was a city council member.
A city council, yeah. And you played me one episode and it's like none of the buildings look like Toledo or the houses or anything.
Yeah, but it was great, man. They went to a Mudhen game in one episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot about that. Yeah. How could I?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay. At least we have AP Bio where there's actually a good representation of Toledo on TV.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like the Rams, stuff like that. Whitlock, Whitmer,
Yeah, kind of. I mean, but they also like went to a walleye game and they actually filmed here in Toledo and stuff. So we were good. Anyway, so back to the topic at hand, folks. Loki episode 4, called The Nexus Event. It was directed by Kate Herron and written by Eric Martin. So, yeah. Featured the song If You Love Me, Really Love Me by Brenda Lee, which I really liked the use of that. Which kind of reminded me of, speaking of AP Bio, because it was kind of the same kind of... It just had a feel of like music that they would play on that show. Yeah. So, in this episode, first off, I just actually want to get your first reaction here, Matt.
I watched it twice, and I think it's probably my favorite episode so far. The first time I watched it, I still thought that the second episode was my favorite, but after watching it a second time, I think this one's been my favorite so far.
Yeah, mine too. I was doing laundry watching this episode on my phone, and making sure I was in a laundry room, and I was making sure nobody stole my laundry, so I had to sit there. It was really hot, and I was sweating in the laundry room, but I was watching it on my phone, and it was still good. You know, it was awesome, because I've never watched an episode of it on my phone before. But I remember just sitting there, because I'm all by myself, and like events happen in it, and I was like, oh my god, what the heck? I need to talk to somebody now. And there was like some guy working outside, and I almost wanted to go and ask him, like, hey, have you watched Loki? No.
What do you think about Loki?
Yeah. Just gonna be like, I know you're trying to fix the air conditioning for our complex here, but before you do that, I need you to watch Loki and tell me what you think of it. And he'd be like, I haven't seen a single episode. And I'd be like, okay, I need you to watch 4 episodes of a TV show.
Watch 4 episodes in a row. And
and then talk to me about it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just watch them really quick, man. Come on. You can, like, speed through them. People can wait on their air conditioning.
Which you've been complaining about for weeks.
I know.
You're going to take a break. Just started working. We need to
discuss Loki, man. It's like the importance of the world.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's do a little breakdown here of the episode and what happened here, Matt.
Sure.
So we start out here. It's many years ago, and we start out with a young Sylvie on Asgard playing with some toys, and then some time hunters come, and including Hunter Ravana Renslayer, Hunter A23. And they arrest a young Sylvie for crimes against the sacred timeline, and then erased her timeline from existence. Then when they're at the TVA, Sylvie sees like them torturing like a guy there, you know, like trying to force him to go through to their trial and stuff like that, and she's like, somebody help him, which helps us view more of like the fact that Sylvie actually cares about people, you know, isn't really just out for herself. Then they're about to have the trial for Sylvie, and Sylvie steals Renslayer's TemPad during the trial and escaped into a different timeline. Yep. That's what happened there. Yeah. So and it seemed like Renslayer allowed her to do it.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
It could be just something that she like. Maybe that's why she's so hell bent on getting Sylvie, is because she feels guilty about letting this happen.
Yeah, because she kind of just sort of like, oh, she's right here. Plus, the other thing about that was kind of weird was like, it seemed like Sylvie, like, really was comfortable using that TemPad. Like, if that was the first time she was there, like, she just knew all the buttons to push and everything. Like, I'm starting to wonder if there's been, like, some kind of continuous time loop going on where even as a kid, she's not really a kid or something. I don't know, but, like...
Either that or she's just, she's a magical being. She's a god, or a goddess, I should say, and she's smart. So
yeah,
maybe
that's
I mean, it could be like the fact that my almost 2-year-old niece the other day somehow unlocked my niece's cell phone.
Right. So yeah, it could be something like that.
And then
that's great.
And started playing some Justin Bieber music on it. I mean, it's just like, I don't know how she did it, but she knew how to do it. So
like password or just like
it's like a finger, movement or something, but she somehow unlocked it, and we still haven't figured out how she did. But
wow.
Yeah. So yeah,
crazy.
And then she changed the music on, because we were playing music on the phone into a little speaker, and she changed it to a Justin Bieber song that she wanted to hear.
Oh wow.
So it's like, okay, maybe because so that makes me think that children can understand a TemPad.
Yeah, I mean, plus too, it seems like kids, the more technology there is, kids just like almost intuitively know how to use them,
Yeah.
So
could
be something like that.
Yeah. So basically, and then we cut to the after that happened. We cut to the present day, or whatever you want to call it, because time moves weird in the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
And Mobius is there talking to Judge Renslayer, and wants to see, asks to see Hunter C-20. But Renslayer claims that C-20 died from a mental breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, which seems very fishy to not just the audience watching the show, but also seems kind of fishy to Mobius.
Yeah. Like, he's not having it. He's
No.
like,
And, so, then we cut over to our favorite variants, Loki and Sylvie, in 2077, where they're on Lamentus 1, the moon, and are stranded there, and they form what appears to be a romantic connection, which is kind of interesting.
mm-hmm.
While they're talking, it has one of the best lines of dialogue I think of any of these things, and it says, "Do you think?" Sylvie asks Loki. It says, "Do you think that what makes a Loki is the fact that we're destined to lose?" And he says, "No, we may lose, sometimes painfully, but we don't die. We survive." So I think that's a very important. That little exchange, and they touch each other's hands, and this creates like a like huge Nexus event, which they notice at the TVA. This is after Hunter B-15 asks Mobius about C-20, And if he's heard anything about C20, and he flat out lies to her and says no. Yeah, so. Yep. Because good people lie all the time.
Well, sometimes they do, but
yes,
but not like that. Yeah, I mean, she, made up some story about how she couldn't even speak by the time they got her in the TVA office or whatever, which is bullshit. But
yeah, that's what Ravana said. But anyways, so Mobius lies to B-15 about that. Anyways, this big Nexus event happens, and there's like that's like perpendicular to the sacred timeline, and it's like
dude, straight up.
Yeah, it's like the biggest like breach or branch in the timeline like ever. And so they go and they rescue and arrest both at the same time, Sylvie and Loki. They
rescue them. I invented that term right now. A rescue. It's my term.
You should. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna let police use that term.
Yeah.
So they don't sound so bad when they arrest people from situations that they shouldn't be arrested from.
Well, no, it's got to be specific for both a rescue and an arrest at the same time. Okay.
I thought it was just going to be a way to excuse and be like, no, I didn't arrest them. I rescued them because they needed to be rescued, so we arrested them so things wouldn't happen bad.
The cops of the future might use that term, but this is the intended meaning of the term.
So right now, I'm just saying, in the future, when that term is getting used, Matt, and you feel bad about creating that word.
Yep. Because of me, exactly. I invented it. So.
Yes. So it'll be your fault when some poor little girl is rescued.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
Yes. Anyways, they, so basically, they go back to the headquarters there after they're arrested, and they put like Sylvie in this like kind of like cell, and then Mobius takes Loki and then traps him in a time loop, wherein he is continually attacked by his associate Sif, Lady Sif. Before pulling him out and interrogating him in relation to the Nexus event and how it occurred. But yeah, the one thing about the time loop that he's in is the very important thing that sure, he's getting physically assaulted because he cut off some of Sif's hair. And but that we see here, but the one thing that is very interesting here is that I think the more painful thing than the actual being kicked in the balls by her and slapped and everything is the emotional abuse that he's getting by the fact that she keeps saying that he's alone and he always will be. Because I think that is probably what's hurting Loki more than the actual physical violence.
That's how it's always been with him, though.
Yeah,
because he's always felt he wasn't really. I don't know. I mean, he didn't know he was a frost giant until later on, right? But but still, it seems like even he always felt like he wasn't truly part of the Asgardians even before that. So maybe he just knew deep down that he wasn't like them in some way or whatever.
And still, it's like the whole idea that I think it's very interesting because parallel to the aspect of that we have the scene earlier where he basically kind of falls in love with himself. So it's kind of a metaphor for the fact that you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Right.
And Loki never truly loved himself, probably until he's actually kind of fell for himself in the form of Sylvie.
Right.
So there's a lot of I think there's a lot of psychological stuff going on there that is actually pretty cool. Like, because it basically teaches us indirectly that, you know, basically you're never going to be in a healthy relationship until you're able to love yourself.
Yeah.
And I guess if it takes loving a version of yourself.
from a multiverse, yeah.
Yes.
Or whatever timeline or whatever.
That brings up a question I wanted to ask you, Matt, while we're on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
If there was, like, say, a version of you from another timeline, could you see yourself in a relationship with that person?
Probably not, just because I know that it's me. So I don't think so. I
guess it brings up even the more, like, realistic, logical question is, would you rather be with somebody that's more like yourself or somebody that's kind of challenges you and has different views on the world and stuff? Not like, you know, I'm not talking about, like, major issues or anything, you know, you're going to have to agree on the same things, but I'm saying, like, somebody with a slightly different personality, like if you're shy, somebody more outgoing, or vice versa, you know.
Well, yeah, I think I'd rather have someone that's, you know, a little bit different than me, because I mean, it's like, you know, if I just want to, you know, be in the house all the time and not go anywhere, if I'm with someone else who also just want to go, I mean, yeah, I guess on the surface it sounds like it's great or whatever, but it's like we're just gonna be sitting around for like days, like our entire weekends would just be doing nothing, like, you know what I mean? So it's like
doing the same thing over and over again or something.
I'd rather be with someone who's gonna, like, say, like, oh, hey, you know, we're going out or whatever, but still, like, someone who's understanding enough to know that, like, if I'm going to have a panic attack, I'm not going to just go in a room with like 100 people and pretend like I'm fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like that won't work. Like, type of thing, you know, like, oh, just completely dissociate for me. No, I wouldn't tolerate that. But, like, definitely someone who's like, hey, you know, I'd like you to meet some of my friends, and, you know, here's the ground rules. If you feel way too uncomfortable, like, like, not just any kind of discomfort, because any kind of discomfort can be interpreted as, oh, I can't do it. But, like, I mean, if you're gonna, like, fall apart, let me know.
I honestly don't think that any of us could just be with somebody that's exactly like us. And even here, I mean, Sylvia's not exactly like Loki, so it makes sense, you know. So
no, they have different personalities. And,
do you want to take a quick break here, Matt, and we'll come back and talk about the rest of the episode?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty, and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
And we are back.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to the episode here, Matt. Like I said, Mobius has Loki trapped into this time loop, and he pulls him out for interrogation in relation to how the Nexus event happened. Starts mocking his narcissism and his falling in love with Sylvie. Loki reveals to them that all the TVA workers are all time variants, but Mobius doesn't believe him at first, and he throws him back into the time loop. So then there's Renslayer and Loki have a meeting in her office to like celebrate catching the variants. What happens there, Matt?
He's still kind of questioning her about everything, about like what happened to Hunter B-20, and she's kind of picking up on where's this going? Sorry, C-20, yeah. Where's this? Like, where are you getting at with all these weird questions? It's fine, everything's been settled, and he's like, just can't shake it. It's like, just doesn't feel right to him. Like, and then she's kind of trying to, steer him away from it by saying that, well, she's just trying to protect him because,
because he wants to interview Sylvie, but so she's saying like, well, she scrambled, Hunter C-20's brain till she died, so she doesn't want that to happen to him, kind of thing. So whatever, and he doesn't quite buy it, so he casts, makes a diversion by saying, "Oh, where are you going to put this trophy or whatever?" So she picks it up and he swaps their time pads, takes hers and then puts his on the table, and then abruptly gets up to say, "Oh, I'll see you later." And she's kind of suspicious, like, "Well, wait, you just got here. You only had one drink." And he's like, "Oh, I had 2 drinks." And you apparently, I guess it's implied that these meetings go on for quite a bit, so kind of like they're almost like boyfriend girlfriend, but they're not allowed to, kind of thing, or whatever. Cause we talked about unique friendships that are uncommon for people like them, whatever that's supposed to mean. So there's probably something going on, or something could go on, but they are keeping their distance or whatever type of thing. Also, while in there, he signed some paperwork earlier, and this pen that he uses is again that Franklin D. Roosevelt High School pen.
Oh, geez,
that she gave him, and the shot kind of lingers for a second there, and Mobius kind of looks at the pen for a second. So, like I said again, this is Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
Something about that pen's going to go off later. I'm just saying.
Something about the high school or something to do with...
My thoughts are... Here's my theory. Mobius was a teacher at that high school.
Yeah, I was just going to say...
In the 1990s, who happened to own a jet ski.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. That's literally what I thought. He's probably like a cool history teacher, or like a... Yeah. Maybe like English lit or something like that, Yeah. I kind of got that vibe, from him.
That's my feeling about him. Either that or that was the high school he went to or something. Who knows? But, there's some relation to that high school and Mobius, I think.
Yeah.
That we'll find out about in a later episode.
Or maybe he taught jet ski lessons, like driving lessons. Maybe they had a jet ski program.
Yes.
And he taught jet ski.
Every good high school has a jet ski driving
program. Of course. I mean, you're not a top grade high school unless you do. So
yes, in my high school we had 4 years of jet ski, and all the other classes were superfluous. It was just jet skis.
Yeah, well, it's if you go to maybe you had a jet skis Polish high schools, they have those.
Yes,
classes.
They all have, and And sadly, you have to learn how to ride a jet ski in like a Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. So, so yeah, he leaves basically saying that he's he's tired and exhausted from all these Lokis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
He looks at the tempad, and what does he find on it, Matt?
He finds the debriefing video where she's Hunter C20 is talking about how they're all time variants, and that these are real memories that she had, and Ravana just gets really scared. It's like, I'm ending this, and he pauses, and kind of zooms in. You can see fear in her eyes, like she knows about this type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I forgot earlier there was a scene earlier in the episode where Renslayer went to visit the timekeepers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She looked all nervous before she went in there to talk to them, and we didn't see really. We kind of saw them up on their little dais on in their kind of throne or whatever, with and they're kind of looking like the people from those like judges from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or something up there, and yeah, yeah,
wow, yes, wow. Yeah, they had this cool like symbol like in red. Like, it almost looked like a magic symbol, like in Magic, like WandaVision, that kind of magic, not magic tricks, like like a.
Yeah, somebody else was pointing out that there are like magic runes on the ceiling in Renslayer's office.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like the ones that Agatha had in her basement.
Oh, okay.
So that could be interesting. We'll have to find out. Yeah. So basically, back to the, Mobius finds out that basically Renslayer lied to him, and that C20 seemed fine, just spouting off stuff they didn't want to hear, and Mobius frees Loki once more, from the time loop. And he's basically trying to help him. He's basically, you're going to have to trust me. And he says, and Loki calls him a friend. And says that he can trust a friend. And they're about to go off and figure out what's going on. And Loki's free to run around, basically. He's still got his little thing around his neck. His little, like, what is that, like I don't know.
A collar, kind of.
Collar,
like
yeah, collar thing. That's the word I was looking for, collar.
Yeah.
He, and then, basically, Mobius acknowledges that he had betrayed Renslayer. And, talks about, basically that they're all variants and stuff like that, leading Renslayer to ordering him to be pruned. And in the first shock of the episode, I was like, fuck, they just killed Mobius. Yeah. So
I know.
That kind of pissed me off. Because he didn't get to go on his jet ski yet.
No, he even talked about it. Like, maybe I had a jet ski.
Yeah, that's what he said. And he was talking about, I know I had a life. Maybe I had a jet ski. Yeah.
And that's what I like to be is, because earlier she was asking him what time period he would love to be in. Or
oh, yeah, and that's what he said. He wouldn't answer it for some reason. Mm-hmm. And that might have been her way of testing him, too, to see what he was feeling, too.
Right, yeah, exactly.
To see if he was influenced like C20 was. Anyway, so he's apparently dead now. And Renslayer takes Loki and Sylvie to the Timekeepers. She like grabs them both and takes them to the Timekeepers. On the way there, in the elevator to the Timekeepers, Sylvie asks Renslayer if she remembers her, first off, and she says yes. And then she asks her why she was arrested, like what was her nexus event that created, that caused her to be arrested by the time Variance Authority. And we see this smirk on Renslayer's face, and she says, "I don't remember."
Yeah. Some filthy smirk from a filthy person. I think she's evil, to be honest.
She might be evil or something like that. I've got some other theories too, but that are not going to come true. But I don't want her to be the big bad of the show, because that'll be the third show in a row where the big bads are all women.
I don't think she's going to be the big bad.
No, I think there's still something else happening. I'm just saying, I don't know. I just don't like the message Marvel's sending right now with women being all the bad people.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, that's the thing, though. That's the new thing now, though, is that... So, like, we've gone through, like... No, like, just, like, I was actually thinking of this, like last week, and I couldn't really vocalize it, but, like, there's almost, like, an evolution of thing going on. So, like, and this happens like with like anyone who's like a minority or like someone who's like was like part of like a second class citizen. So like first is like you're either depicted as like totally like powerless, or you start off as the villain. It usually could be either or. Then you move your way up to like kind of like a hero, and then or a victim. But then something happens later on where it's like, well, why can't we be played as villains? But like not villains as in like when you. What I'm trying to say is like, so like there was like this, like when you depict people as villains, you can either do it because that's how you see like those people in real life. So you're basically like, oh, well, black people, they're villains, or you know what I mean. But then there comes a certain time where it's like a group of people can be the villain in the TV show without society seeing them as villains, if that makes sense. I'm not really describing this well.
It makes. I get what you're saying.
Okay, good.
My main complaint is I understand that, but I just don't want all of the villains in these shows to be women. You know,
Right.
It's just
WandaVision. Of course, it's Mephisto's pulling a string. So, not really.
No. I don't know. So we'll see what happens when we get to the last two episodes.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be Kane the Conqueror. You know, it's going to be Kane.
Maybe. But my thing with that is like, okay, so for a Marvel fan, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But for your like people that know the history of the characters and people that do research like you and I do, but your casual viewer, to just bring a villain out of nowhere, it's going to be very dissatisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
true.
Yeah. And I mean, what you want on a show like this is somebody we already know to be the villain. So
it's Thanos. No.
Yeah. But not somebody from another movie or anything. It's somebody within this show, because there are people that may have not seen any of the other Marvel movies and are just watching, Loki, or something, maybe they're a fan of Owen Wilson, so they started watching the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those fans, you don't want to throw them. Well, this character who was in the Marvel comics for all these years that everybody should know about. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I'm doubting the Kang the Conqueror theory. But it might still happen. You know what I mean? It's just hard to say.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we get to the Timekeepers, which are really creepy looking lizard people, like they said before,
Yeah.
The second one even talks like he has a lisp because he's got a big mustache, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
Because anytime a a sea creature or something like that, like a walrus or something, has a mustache like that, they always have to talk like it's kind of like Merman from He-Man.
Yeah.
That's kind of the voice he had. He kind of had the, you know, like he's got something in his mouth.
You know, he reminded me of the character from The Mandalorian. The guy that says, "I have spoken," that guy.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he does kind of, and that's another thing. Like, he's got that kind of, you know, thing. I don't know. I wonder, because that was Nick Nolte that did that voice. I don't think this was Nick Nolte, but, you know, it's kind of have, yeah, but it's got like a Merman meets Nick Nolte sort of voice. Anyways, while they're there, the timekeepers order Loki and Sylvie to be pruned. But we did have a scene earlier I forgot about. Because it wasn't in my breakdown for some reason. Hunter B-15 had brought Sylvie back to the 2050 Alabama, where they to the Rocks Cart store, where there was that, you know, we had that event where Sylvie had entered B-15's mind at one point to control her. She asks Sylvie about the situation, like basically trying to say, "Am I a variant?" You know, basically like that, and she wants her to show her again. So she sees that and she says, "I looked happy." And this was in a rain and everything. Oh my god, that scene! I mean, the actress who plays B-15 was just amazing in that scene. I think it was really good, and both of them were. So basically, she knows this, and so she's like basically now converted over to the Sylvie camp, where she believes Sylvie saying that they are, you know, variants. And so right before they're about to be pruned, B-15 frees the pair of their restraints on their collars, and together the three of them fight and defeat Renslayer and the Timekeeper's guards, though B-15 at one point is knocked unconscious. So Sylvie throws a sword at the Timekeepers at one point and beheads one of them. And his head comes flying down, and we basically learn that this whole Timekeeper shit is just Chuck E. Cheese. We find out they're like androids, they're animatronics or something. You know, the androids are basically just, I mean, the Timekeepers are basically just androids. It's like,
not even,
yeah, because like my feeling is when you walk out of there, they start you know doing a rendition of Katy Perry's Fireworks or something, and you know, they have a band, you know, and like you know Pasquale and Mr. whatever the fuck those characters, you know, Jasper Jowls and all them come out and they join them.
They serve pizza.
Yeah, they serve pizza. Yeah, there's a bunch of arcade games we couldn't see in the background, you know.
Yeah. But it's only after you leave, which is pointless. But well,
no, they bring in all the kids, the kid variants.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's the other thing too. Is like the other two were like laughing after she did that, which is weird. And then
they all did like they powered down like the Chuck E. Cheese characters do at the.
Yeah, that was so creepy.
That's what made me think. When they powered down is when I thought this is like Chuck E. Cheese.
I know, it's messed up.
Or Showbiz Pizza or Major Magics or any of those, you know,
right,
things from back in the day. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I love Major Magics, man. That was that was my jam.
I was going with Chuck E. Cheese reference because I know everybody knows Chuck E. Cheese. Not everybody knows Major Magics.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
but I remember when they brought in Chuck E. Cheese. You know, it was a big deal, like, you know, a fad.
Yeah.
So like, my parents, like, they took us there once, and it was like, I like Major Magic's better still.
There was something about Major Magic's. It was darker in there.
Mm-hmm.
And for some odd reason, the darkness, the creepiness of it all made it even cooler.
Well, it was dark. Well, it was dark, but it was like a warm darkness. It felt safe. It was like, and plus too, it's like it was in a plaza, so like you drove. So it wasn't like you just drove into like a place and there you are. It was like you had to drive into like a whole plaza. So it's the whole thing just made it feel safer in a weird kind of way. I don't know. And then.
And you could play air hockey there. I liked that. So anyways,
air hockey,
and what you call it, skee ball, and
they had skee ball, yes, and
no jet skis.
Also, my favorite, no jet skis, no, unfortunately, there was skis, but not jet skis, and no, God was not playing there that particular days I was there, but never got to meet God playing jet ski, playing skee ball.
Oh yeah. Like in Dogma?
Playing jet skis. Yeah, like a Dogma. But like, I think both you and I had the same favorite video game there. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called? Not Lost in Space.
No. I liked the original one, but they also had, like, Turtles in Time was the other one.
That was what I played a lot, was Turtles in Time.
Yeah. I really want to get... If anybody would like to donate to me, that's listening, I really want the arcade 1-up Turtles game.
Yeah.
Like, really badly, so,
Could you to them? Yeah,
just send us 2 of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just send me an email. I'll give you our addresses.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to donate to Patreon or anything. Just donate us a Turtles game. Yeah. So, anywho, back to the show. So we find out that the timekeepers are just a bunch of bullshit, and so then Loki is about to tell Sylvie his feelings for her, basically. Renslayer gets back up and then prunes Loki.
Well, I didn't see that coming at all.
No.
The whole knock the person out with a punch, turn your back to that person. Oh, and the person got up and woke up. Oh, no.
If you've ever seen a horror film, you got to make sure somebody's dead. I'm just saying.
Yeah, don't just punch someone.
It's like Scream, like basically the rules. You got to watch Scream and figure out these rules, people.
That movie frustrated me so much just because it was like, I'm like, how obvious is it, people? Like,
So, anyways, as he attempted to tell her, he's basically pruned, and so Sylvie is angered, and she overpowers Renslayer, and she demands the truth about the TVA after Renslayer tells her, "Do it," basically, just kill me.
Well, she's afraid.
Yeah.
Not afraid of being killed. She wants to be pruned because she's afraid of facing whoever's in charge or whoever that they're going to be caught, basically.
And see, this is what I don't understand is, like, I know Renslayer knows a lot, but did she know that the Timekeepers were Chuck E. Cheese characters?
Well, the way she looked like really afraid to face them in the beginning of the episode. So
that's what I'm saying. I don't think she knew. I think she basically just found out. So,
I mean, if she knew that, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, if she knew that somebody was controlling them, I don't think she would look that fearful to face the animatronics, because
unless she was more afraid of the person behind the animatronics.
I guess
the wizard behind the curtain, sort of thing. We
don't know, so she was knocked out during the time, so we don't really know if she knows that they're Chuck E. Cheese robots or not. So we'll find out that if she knows more.
It had a very like I said, Wizard of Oz sort of feel too. Like, you know, except for we didn't find out who the wizard behind the curtain was.
Well, we got 2 more episodes, so
yeah, we will find out. I mean, I have no doubt. So then our credits start rolling, and we do have a mid-credits scene, first time in the series, where Loki awakens in a post-apocalyptic New York City, and basically asks if he's dead and if this is hell, spelled H-E-L, by the way, not H-E-L-L, like the Asgardian hell, not the human hell.
Not the. It's kind of like an afterlife, sort of like a purgatory kind of place.
It's what the Norse people called the afterlife was hell. So basically in there we meet other Loki variants who ask him to join them in order to survive. Including Richard E. Grant, who we finally get to see as as what they call classic Loki. And we see a kid Loki and one called Boastful Loki.
Boastful.
Yeah, who's like a black guy with a hammer, which is interesting. And
right.
the hammer part that I'm saying that, you know, and then we have a kid Loki, like I said, and then we have like an alligator or a crocodile Loki.
So in one of the timelines, apparently Loki is a crocodile or an alligator. Well, hey, it makes sense. Why not? I mean, like in Into the Spider-Verse is a spider pig.
Yeah. My thing is I just want to know if in the next episode we're going to see a reptile talking.
Ooh.
Because that'll be weird.
Well, wait a minute. It's interesting because if they said that because one of the theories, I think you brought this up actually last week, that perhaps the person who's actually running the show is like a Loki, but he wants to be like the only Loki type of thing. And then, so you got alligator Loki, but they were saying the timekeepers were like lizards people, so that's kind of an interesting.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe that's the one that's controlling it. Is the one the kid's holding.
Or maybe he's going to pick up a banjo, and we find out he's an animatronic thing that plays at a pizza place.
Yeah.
Anyway, so who knows? I'm obsessed. Yeah. I'm obsessed with this animatronic thing. Anyway, so. Do you want to take a break here, Matt, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some trivia and speculation?
Sure.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Need a new podcast to listen to? Well, why not check out the Super Podcast from the Super Network at supermarcy.com, where we discuss films and pop culture, and we do monthly fan-voted commentaries. We are available on all major podcasting platforms.
Okay, we are back. Back in black.
Nick is back. No.
Anyway, no AC/DC.
No.
Not today. No. Nope. Not on the weekend where we celebrate America. We're not talking about any foreign bands. Anyway, so so here's a little bit of trivia here for this episode here, Matt. This is the first appearance of Lady Sif in the MCU since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode Who You Really Are in 2015. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The actress Kaylee Fleming, who played young Sylvie, also played young Rey in the new Star Wars movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she also appeared as Judith Grimes on The Walking Dead. So she's appeared in several things based on comics and other sci-fi type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she looked. Now that you think about it, that she looked kind of familiar. Okay, yeah.
So the scene where Sif and Loki interact is based on the Norse legend where Loki cuts off her hair. In the legend, this eventually puts Thor on the quest that leads to the creation of Mjornir. I do not know how to pronounce that. I mean, I know that I should, but I don't. One of
What, you talking about the hammer?
Yeah, one of his hammers.
It's pronounced Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Mjolnir, I think.
Yeah,
Mjornir.
Just
forget about how it's
yeah.
Forget about how it's spelled because pronunciation has nothing to do with spelling whatsoever. So
Yeah, okay.
like just ignore it. Just pronounce it as Mjolnir or something like that.
Yeah.
And just
Anyways, so yeah, it leads to the creation of that in the Norse mythology. Richard E. Grant's Loki variant is dressed in Loki's Silver Age comic book look. This is why he's credited as Classic Loki. And this is the first episode to have a post-credit scene. The post-credit scene introduced other Loki versions, and like I said, we have Boastful Loki, Crocodile Loki, Kid Loki, and Classic Loki. We also see in the background of that scene a ruined Avengers Tower from the Avengers. So, yeah. So the Avengers Tower is in the background of that scene. Destroyed.
it's interesting. So I have a theory about this, right? I don't really think that this is a destroyed. Okay, you remember the show Stranger Things? Did you ever watch it?
No, I haven't watched Stranger Things yet. I know I'm way behind on that. I really should.
Well, there's a concept. It's not. Don't worry, it's not really giving anything away. But there's a concept called like the upside down world.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Basically, it's just like it's the same place, but it's like all decayed and shit. But that's like the way it's supposed to be in that realm. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not so much anything's been destroyed. It's like that's the normal state. You know what I mean? So maybe this
maybe that's what's going on here.
I don't know. You know, but.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and it could be a different timeline. I'm just trying to figure out what it is, like where. So that gives me. So now we can move into speculation here because that gives me thoughts about. I know that Mobius is going to appear in future episodes, so makes me wonder where he went when he was pruned, or like C-20 or other people that got pruned. You know, like are they in some kind of other timeline? Are they sent there, or is it something like that? So maybe when people are pruned, they're not really being killed.
Well, yeah, because if you kill someone, I mean, it's not just from like a morality perspective, but if they did that, they would be kind of messing with the timeline themselves by killing someone, right? That's not supposed to be killed. So, like,
well, I don't know because like everybody that they're killing are variants.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, true.
They were already taken out of the sacred timeline, so.
Right. I
don't know. It's hard to say. So, one theory that I read somewhere is that there's a possibility that Ravonna Renslayer is actually a Loki.
Oh, okay.
And then maybe she's the one in charge of everything. Which wouldn't make sense because she used to be a hunter and not a judge.
Right.
Unless, I mean, I don't know, maybe she's not the main one in charge. Maybe she's like the second in command or something. I don't know what's going on, but that could be an interesting little theory, which is probably going to be wrong. But I like that theory. That maybe she's like the Loki that's trying to be the superior Loki to all the other Lokis, and that's why she's pruning Lokis or getting Lokis out of the timeline.
There could only be one Loki.
Yeah. Who knows? It could be that or some other reasoning that she's doing what she's doing. That's the only major like theory I have, and I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, there's got to be because I've seen in some previews for a future episode. I've already seen there's a scene with Owen Wilson driving a car somewhere, so he's got to be in a future episode. And so I'm hoping that when he got pruned, he got sent to some other timeline or something, or maybe he got sent back to his own timeline. I don't know what's going. You know what I mean? Because it makes you wonder if these people really were variants or if they were just randomly, picking people off from timelines and just making it so they didn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if they weren't even... Well, that's the thing. It's like, like the show Legends of Tomorrow, right? Well, like, the whole point of that show was that those characters were so insignificant when it came to the timeline that it was okay to just pluck them out of the timeline. So this could be something like that almost.
It
like,
could be, yeah.
I don't know, but...
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Do you have any other final thoughts here, Matt, before we wrap things up?
No, not really. Just maybe just try to watch this episode at least twice, just to kind of just get a feel for it. I don't think one time is really enough for this particular episode. So,
yeah, I agree.
I would say at least 2 times.
Once, twice,
Mhm.
3 times.
3 times a lady.
3 times a Loki. Oh, wait, no. Anyways, so, well, I'll stop singing, folks, because I know it hurts your ears. Anyway, so, here we, make sure you, check out our, all2real2.com. Follow our show. We got some interviews coming up and some really cool, like, reviews of some sitcoms and stuff. Like, coming up, we've got a review of the TV show Kirstie. So yeah, that we recorded recently, which will be fun to listen to. And yeah, check out our Patreon, check out our TeePublic, get some merch, walk around with some All Too Real 2 stuff on your back,
Yeah, man.
And then, people will be like, what's that? And you'd be like, I don't know, some podcast I listen to or whatever. Yeah, anyways, so
Some kind of shit I listen to.
Yeah. I don't know why you're talking to me. I'm, trying to go to the bathroom right now, but... Oh, wait, no.
Don't talk to me.
I'm just standing here at this urinal, and you just came up to me and asked me what my shirt was. Wait. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so, yeah. Make sure you check all our social media out. Join our Facebook group, our All Too Real 2 podcast group. It's a fun place, You can chat in there. I'll let you share anything you want in there too. We got some people sharing their podcasts in there. You might want to check those out. Anyways, until next time, folks, be kind to each other. And, observe the sacred timeline. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.